Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Select Generation podcast. Now, if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, you're probably a bit confused because we're on the laptop today. We're on Zoom. So I got Griffin Brophy with us. He's a player that is coming to play for us in England next year. So we're super excited. Going to talk to him about a little bit about his soccer background, who he is, what he's about, kind of his plans, and just get to know him a bit better and see what he's about. So Griffin, appreciate your time, mate.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
just
Glad to be
wanted
here.
to talk to you. So tell us, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? Who do you play for? What's your soccer background?
Yeah, right. I come from a big family. I got five siblings. Both my parents very loving. Soccer has always been a huge part of everything. All my siblings have played it, from the oldest one being 23 now to my youngest sister playing it. Soccer has always been a huge part. I'm from Sonoma, California. So it's a small town, about an hour north of San Francisco. It's small. I've always kind of been in a small pond, kind of in a way. Yeah, super tiny. The high school I go to is small and everything. We only have one high school in town and everything. But it's been always a very kind of cool experience where I've grown up. Everyone kind of knows everyone. That's the type of town I live in, and especially with me having a big family, it's like everyone has known me, whether it's been from my sisters or my brothers and stuff, or my parents, whatever it is. So it's always a cool experience, but it's definitely been kind of surreal in a way because it's kind of all coming to an end now
Yeah,
with
yeah.
with with yeah with my childhood in a way and my youth, which is crazy to think about because I've seen my both my sisters have gone through it now and they're both in college and graduated college and stuff. But it's definitely something crazy to see because it's like yeah, you just kind of it comes by you like it's nothing and it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, soccer has always been a huge part. I've never really, to be honest, I've never really played at a huge club. I haven't. Whether it's been financially or just we don't have the time, I've never really been able to do it, which is unfortunate. But I've always kind of, in a humble way, have stood out in Sonoma, and whether that's through the high school season, or club, I've definitely have stood out, and it's been kind of finally feeling really rewarding because my college process, I'm not gonna lie, it has been hard. It was definitely hard, whether uncertainties or whatever the deal was, it was hard, but finally getting kind of this opportunity to come play in England in just a couple months next fall was definitely something that's like, when I remember when it hit the email first, I was like, oh my God, like, is this a spam? Like what, like, it was definitely something where it was like, insane to think about. And me and my dad, especially, we've always kind of followed English soccer, or you could say football, heavily always because we're huge Manchester United fans. And I mean,
I feel sorry for you.
I know. I don't want to get into it, all right. But literally, my earliest memories are like waking up at 4 a.m. and watching, United play in the morning and stuff. And it's always been like the way that we look at it is, and how it kind of is like England's like the soccer capital of the world, and it's like it's unreal that it's like I have this opportunity now, and we knew when it was coming, and it came, and like we sat down and talked about it, especially with my parents and everything. They were like, do what's best for you, but it's like, look, don't have any regrets. And I was like, I want to go to England. Like this is,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even with the soccer side of things, it's like, of course, I'm going to school there too. So it's like it's almost like a win-win regardless. But it's just like I'm going to experience the culture, going to experience everything. And it's like this is what I want. Like it's a
Yeah.
no-brainer.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah,
mean, Griffin, I mean, your energy is infectious, man. Love it, love
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, so talk to us. Like, obviously, you mentioned there, like, you never played for a big club.
yeah, yeah.
I lived in Napa for a bit,
Oh
and
yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah. So I know like the Napa Sonoma area.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you have like Napa United, Santa
yep,
Rosa United,
yeah,
but that's about it, really, right? There's not a lot of other kind of clubs. So
yeah,
for
yeah,
you, for you, when you were growing up, when you were playing, obviously you're probably not going to drive to San Francisco to play for the
no,
Glens and like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
The other side is just kind of like land. So
yeah.
for you, how was like playing soccer at a high level? Like, was it just high school? Was it just club? Like, who did you play for?
Yeah, I mean, up until I'd say only about probably 2 years ago, I wasn't playing at an insanely high level. I mean, I thought, I believed I could have been, and I knew I was good enough, but it was just kind of with how it was and my age and everything, I wasn't. And then probably about 2 years ago with high school season, the way I saw it was, if I'm not going to be playing MLS next, if I'm not going to be playing ECNL, whatever the deal is, through high school season, I realized that I was able, especially coming from a smaller town, I was able to get a lot of recognition through my high school season. And that probably came towards the end of my sophomore year, but especially last year. And I was able to get a bunch of recognition and a bunch of awards and a bunch of all that. And then I started going to a bunch of these camps and stuff. And I kind of saw myself compared to these other high level players, the MLS Next and the ECNL and the MPL, whatever the deal is. And I was kind of like, well, I'm not playing for those clubs, but like I could definitely battle, if not win, against these kids. And one thing kind of about me is I will grind. So regardless of like kind of whatever the deal is, whether I'm playing for the best of the best or whether I'm with a good team or a bad team, whatever the deal is, like I'm gonna just work, 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 work until it's like I get there. And if I don't get there, then I don't get there. Whatever. At least I try my best. But it's like
How important do you think that mindset is, like, about working hard?
extremely. I mean, I can say that just from personal kind of accounts because it's like I'm not. I'm from a small town. I'm from a small. I've always played for a small club. I play for a small high school. I don't. Historically, I don't play for a huge winning club or high school. So it's like the biggest thing with me is it's like the only way I've really gotten better is pushing myself. And like I've always for the most part I've always until a couple of years ago I've always played a couple of years up, and I've
What
always yeah.
and
Sorry, go.
what does working hard mean to you? Because some players, it's like I'm working really hard, and they don't go to the gym, they don't
Yes.
eat right foods, they
Yeah.
just train really hard, and they think that's
Yeah.
working hard. Whereas you have some guys that run an ultra marathon, go to the gym twice a
Yeah.
day every day, and they think that they can even do more. So, like, what does working hard mean to you?
I think the biggest thing with me is a lot of times working hard. I think people kind of only measure it by its physical side or what you kind of get by it, but I think it's also a mental game. I mean, I think when it comes to working hard, it's like it's one thing to outrun or outlift someone, but it's like if you also just from the start don't think that like you can beat them or that you're not going to be better than them, I think you already lost half the battle.
Yeah.
So I think a mental side of it is just as big as the physical side.
I couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah,
I think it's harder to work hard mentally because, like,
exactly.
you can kind of go for a run, but first to like win the run or go to the gym, you have to win the mental battle. Like,
Yep.
where the mental battle
Yeah.
is like I could just lie in, sleep, stay in, play video
Exactly.
games,
Exactly.
eat Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's or I don't
Exactly.
know, whatever
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I totally agree with you. And then also, what do you think is the relationship between motivation and discipline? What's the difference between motivation and discipline to you?
Yeah. I think that's a good question. I would say with motivation, that's kind of more, at least for me personally, motivation is kind of more of a kind of the goal, kind of what you're looking at, kind of the light at the end of the tunnel is motivation. That's what you want. That's the whatever it is. That's the prize. Whereas discipline is more of the journey. It's more of like the okay, there's your motivation. That's what's gonna make you work hard. But now the discipline is like this is what you have to do
It's like the
to go
consistency.
exactly. This is what you have to do. This is how hard you're gonna work. This is how consistent you have to work to go get that. And your motivation is gonna be the thing that consistently makes you work that hard.
Yeah, yeah, love that. No, that's good. And
Yeah.
I always talk to players, and I'm like, the harder you work, the luckier you get, the more
Yeah,
discipline.
exactly.
Motivation comes and goes. Like, some days you're like, oh, I had a really good day. Or my friend just committed to college, or my friend just did this, or my dad or my mom. I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's easy. But then there's days
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like so bored, so lazy.
Yeah,
But that's when you need to go and stay disciplined and do the hard work. So
exactly.
okay, Griffin, I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
in terms of like soccer, what can we expect from you on the team? How do you play? What's your play style like?
Yeah.
How are you as a footballer?
Yeah, I mean, I think actually the biggest thing you'll notice from me is I at least try to make the people around me play and be in an environment where it's like they want to grind and they want to do this and they feel that they're part of the team in the sense of like they're willing to go out onto the pitch and like die and that's because of the other 10 people on the team and their coaching staff and stuff. So I think my leadership is one of kind of my main qualities. I've always kind of been a captain. It's like I'm making sure that like we're every time we go onto that field, it's like we're fighting with 11 people. Like we're going to beat the other team, and we're going to do it together. It can't be done individually, regardless of how good that player is. And I think as far as like my qualities on the field, I mean, I'm like a left-footed kind of attacking mid. I just am really good at kind of creating opportunities and getting people involved. I mean, I can do the solo runs and I can score the goals and I can assist, but it's like I can get the fullbacks involved and I can get the center halves involved and I can get, the other eights involved and the wingers and stuff. And I do just really well in kind of molding the team together and keeping everyone tight when they need to be and then getting them kind of dispersed when needed. And I just think in kind of the middle to final third, I'm very creative and explosive and can kind of create dynamics that a lot of players can't.
How do you deal with your teammates? How do you deal with your teammates when they're complaining, when they're
Yeah.
moaning, when they're shouting at the referee, when I don't know, they're giving it away, they have low confidence and they're just moaning at everyone and complaining? How do you kind of motivate them? How do you bring the morale up?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I think the biggest thing is in a way not. I mean, unless it's necessary, not kind of singling one out, because it's like that in a way. I see it as it almost just. Oh shoot, sorry.
We're good. We're good.
You still see me? Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Everything's
Okay,
good.
yeah, sorry. In a way, I still see it kind of as like singling someone out. It just kills them almost more. And the way that I see it is, it's like, look, you have to be strong enough mentally to make mistakes and move forward. But at the same time, you know, those mistakes are natural and those are going to happen regardless of how top of a player you are. And it's like, if you should have those guys next to you that are like, you know what, like, hey, push yourself. Like, yeah, you messed up on that, but move forward. Don't care about that. But also at the same time, I am the type of player and the type of guy to be like, if I notice, you are creating kind of a toxic environment and a toxic space to be in. And I notice, when you're on the field with us or when you're on the practice team or whatever the deal is, whether you're in the training room with us, whether we're going out to eat, like whatever the deal is. And it's like you're kind of creating a toxic space, not a team, not really like a thing that people want to be a part of. It's like, you know, sometimes you do need to be checked, and like I might check you in the most respectful way possible and be like, hey, like, dude, like, what's going on? Like, help us out. You're not helping us out, and you're a top player. You're here for a reason. Like, be confident, and yeah,
Love that. No, that's a good way
yeah,
to treat
yeah,
them. That's a good way
yeah,
to. Okay, and then in terms of like, yeah, Griffin playing in England, like you mentioned at the start,
yeah,
you are a fan. You've always watched the Premier League.
yep.
What does going and playing in England, like, what are you most excited about?
I mean, it has to be not only the English culture, but like the soccer culture there. I think just the way that, like, I mean, the fans, the amount of passion they have, and like just all the things, because I've seen it all through social media, and ever since I could remember. I mean, just knowing that I'm playing for something where it's like, maybe not right away, but I'm playing for something where it's like this makes their Sunday, or whatever the deal is. It's like, of course, I'm not saying I'm at that level right now, but it's like that's the goal, that's the motivation. It's like that's what I'm working for, and it's like I know how big of a deal this is, especially in England. Regardless of where I'd be playing, like the culture there is just unreal, and the fans and how much it means to everyone. It's like this is exactly the environment I wanted to be in when it came to the sport. It's like I want everyone around me to be just as into it, if not more, than me. It's like I want everyone to take this almost like it's life or death, to be honest with you.
Love it, love it, love it. Good.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like getting ready, obviously on the field, you're going to the gym, you're taking care of
Yep.
yourself, doing sessions, etc. Off the
Yep.
field, have you been like, how are you getting ready for life? Like you're not only just moving to college, moving out of your house, but you're moving to a different country. How are you getting ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest theme will, and in one way, I'm kind of blessed because I've seen my sisters do it. You know, not in the sense that they moved to another country. You know, that's different. But I have seen it where it's like, you know, it's just a part of life. It's almost a part of life that you have to accept. It's like, look, I've loved my youth and I've loved where I've grown up and all that. But it's like, regardless of whether I'm going to England or whether I was going across the country, it's like I was going to do this. You know, I was going to move out and I was going to go and I've known that and I've been preparing for that and I've honestly been really looking forward to it too for probably the past 6 7 months now. You know, and it's like I knew this was coming and it's one of those things where it's like instead of kind of feeling you know, constant pressure from it and nervousness and kind of scared, to be honest, in a way, from moving away from home. I'm not taking the negative side of it because, you know, I do know it's okay to be nervous and whatnot, but I'm taking more the positive route of it where it's like, well, this is, you know, this is what I want. 10 years ago, if someone could ask me, like, oh, you're going to England when you're 18 to go play soccer, it's like I would have, you know, taken that yes in a second. It's like, this is what I want. So, yeah, of course, I'm going to feel those emotions, but it's like, the positive emotions of, you know, excitement and a little bit of nervousness like just overcome those emotions so much more, and I'm just gonna, you know, keep myself busy and when I'm there and stay focused in it, and I'm gonna accept the feelings, you know, of course nervousness and homesick, but I'm just the feelings of excitement and whatnot just overcome anything else that I can
Yeah, yeah.
feel.
Good. And then in terms of like soccer,
Yeah,
how how do you think it's going to be different? Like, I talked to a lot of the boys and they're like, oh, it's going to be a lot more physical,
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot more tactical work. It's going to be, a completely different environment. How do you think that the football is going to be different?
Yeah, I mean the biggest things that I can look at is two things. I'd say the first thing would be the tactical side of it. I mean, especially, you know, maybe compared to the other boys or whatnot, considering I play at probably one of the smaller clubs and whatnot, and from one of the smaller towns, it's like, you know, to be real, I've never have had that full side of tactical training, you know, I mean, you know, of course, I know some of it, and I'm eager to learn it, but I haven't, and so I know over there, it's like, you know, that's the culture from when you're 8 years old. It's like, you know, I know that's going to be a big kind of thing that's implemented into the game for me, and then I'd say the other thing kind of is is the intensity and kind of passion of play. I mean, the guys, you know, I don't know exactly who we're going to be going against, but you know, we're in the eighth tier and whatnot. It's like these guys are everyone's trying to work at something. Like everyone's working at trying to like level up. Everyone's working at trying to become better because they're trying to get somewhere. You know, they're trying to keep on going and going and going until, you know, they're at some of the biggest clubs or whatever the deal is. So it's like everyone out there, you know, whether you're on the bench or whether you're in the reserves or whether, you know, you're one of the 11 on the field, it's like everyone out there wants this because they wouldn't be there if they didn't want it. And it's like that right there just kind of shows to me that it's like I'm gonna have to put in that much more work to outshine kind of people and make my team, you know, lift up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely good stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And then as well, like your teammates are going to be from New York,
Yeah,
Florida,
yeah, yeah.
Texas, everywhere. What are you most looking forward to about kind of meeting the team, being with the team?
Yeah, I think look, I think a lot of these guys, you know, share similar passions with me. And a lot of these guys have kind of probably grown up similarly to me and um, feel the same way about going to England and whatnot. And it's honestly just, you know, I'm extremely excited. I think I'm going to be meeting, you know, all these other guys, and I'm going to be extremely like acceptive, and I look forward to it. And I think it's going to be really fun because I kind of look at it too, and it's like, you know, going off to a new country and you know, only being 18, you know, barely adult and whatnot. It's like these guys that I'm meeting right now, you know, in a couple months and being with them probably every day nearly. It's like these could be friends that I have for the rest of their life. Like these could be people I easily invite to my wedding. Like these could be the people that it's like, you know, they're kind of my guys for the rest of my life, you know. And it's like I'm definitely looking, yeah, super forward to it. I couldn't be more excited. Yeah,
Love that. Love that. Yeah, that's
yeah, yeah.
cool. You're already thinking about marriage at 18 though, Griffin. You
No,
see,
no, no,
you have a
no. Yeah,
girlfriend?
maybe thinking about my best man's maybe not you know. That's all it is.
That's funny. Good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
And okay, and then just lastly, Griffin,
yeah.
what if all of the other players were on the call right now and they were like, "Oh, who is Griffin? What's he about? What's he like as a person?" What is something? how would you describe yourself to your teammates, or like what would you like to kind of be known as the guy for?
Yeah, I'd say kind of two things. I'd say one, it's a positive mentality. Like regardless of the situation we're in, regardless of the score, regardless of what happened that day at school, whatever the scenario is, it's like I'm gonna look kind of at the best of things. I'm always gonna look at the best outcome of things. I'm gonna be like, okay, you know what, that sucks, but it's like now we can do this, or let's move forward. And then the other thing too is honestly we were talking about earlier, but grinding. Like I'm gonna try to be the hardest worker. Like I'm gonna try to, and that's not a competition, but that's just like I want to push myself, but I also want to push my teammates. Like I want to be a person where it's like, okay, I'm working hard, and now he's working hard because he sees me, and it's like I want to grind. Like I mean, that's why we're doing all this. It's like where we're trying to get somewhere and whatnot. It's like yeah. So I'd say grinding and kind of just a positive outcome always from me, and just kind of being that like positive guy.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's a fun fact about you that not a lot of people know?
Fun fact. Ooh, gotta think about this.
Like a hobby you have, or a memory you have, or something you're good at, or I don't know, something happened to you that was crazy.
Memory I'm good at. I'm or a fact I'm good at. I'm pretty good at mental math.
Mental
I'm
math.
pretty mental. I mean, don't put me on the spot right now, right?
What's
I
the
don't want
what's
to.
the
I
square
don't want
root? What's the square root of 100?
10. Oh, it's right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, good.
But I mean, yeah, I'm pretty good at like the to an extent. I'm not saying I'm America's Got Talent level. I'm just saying I got a little bit of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll have to do a quiz with you on the first
We
week.
got that. We got that. Yeah,
We'll have
yeah,
a quiz
yeah.
with the boys. But yeah,
All
Griffin.
right, all
Okay.
right.
That was good to speak to you, man. And
Oh yeah.
I'll stop the recording now. But we're super
Okay.
excited about next year and having
Yeah.
you part of the team.
No, yes, sir.